Are we good?
Yes.
Well, then welcome.
To what?
To another episode, honey.
Of
seeing our new logo, Driving to the Res.
Our logo is magnificent.
Yes.
Who made it?
Inanna.
Inanna did it, yes.
Yes, Anna McCarty.
Yes,
She
she's
did
a
a
res
great
girl.
job. So our favorite hosts are Larry
Yes.
and Inelia.
Oh, I forgot about that part. Should we do it again?
Welcome to another episode of Driving to the
Res with your favorite hosts,
Larry and Inelia.
Dun, dun, dun.
All right.
Alrighty then.
Okay then.
So what we're talking about today, babe?
Well, we were probably, anyone who's listening to this probably already notices our nice new logo, which I thought was smashing.
It is amazing.
I really like how there's so much hidden in it.
Yes.
Because it's kind of like our podcast, right? Driving to the Res. You don't think what we're going to talk about is the things we talk about.
Right.
And the same with our logos. When you look at the here and here and here, oh my gosh, you keep finding stuff.
Yeah. It's really spectacular.
Yeah, she did a good job.
Amazing job. Fabulous. Fantastic.
I was thinking also before we started about our afternoon.
Okay.
So I don't know, you might remember last week Todd was out here and we spent the whole week, or it might have been the week before, honestly.
3 weeks ago, I think. Maybe 4.
Not that far. Somewhere in between there.
Yes.
And we did a lot of expeditioning and running around and checking out this, checking out that, and practicing our animal communications, our experiential telepathy, processing fear, after dark, walking in the woods,
Yes,
things like that.
Yeah.
And since Todd left, things kind of quieted down a little bit, but then not.
I don't know if they quieted down at all.
I think,
actually,
though we paid attention, might have turned down a little bit.
yes, I think that's what usually happens.
Right. When
We
he's
kinda-
here, you're like, every day, let's go in the woods, let's go in the woods,
Yes,
let's go in the woods, let's go in the
exactly.
woods. Is there anybody here? Let's connect. Where
Yes.
should we go?
Yeah.
Where are you guys at? Where do you want to meet? What do you want to talk about?
And
What do
he's
you want to
really
show
good
me?
at facilitating that.
Oh, man, he
He's so
knocks.
good.
He's, never stops. Yep.
He knocks it out of the field.
Yeah.
That's what it's called, right?
Out of the park.
Out of the park? Okay, not the field.
Right. Good enough, though.
Knocks it out of the park.
Out of the park.
Yeah.
Right. And so I like to make note, we did collaborate a little bit on a project. It's called an Experiential telepathy class. Mm-hmm. And you can practice it, get it yourself. It supports his work. It supports ours work. And it teaches you the skills you need to know and some of the, misconceptions even. It's good, a good intro if you haven't taken it to the whole idea of communicating with...
It takes out all the difficulty out of telepathy.
Right.
Because the way we've been taught about telepathy is very disempowering, filled with false information, in my opinion. And this method is the natural telepathy that we actually have as human beings, but also that all the animals that I've known, and plants also, and all sorts of creatures have. So you develop the skill, and actually, by the time this comes out, we would already have done, I think, our animal communication class.
Right, I'm sure of it because it's only in a day or so.
Yeah. Oh, that's right, yes. And this
Yeah.
comes out in a couple of weeks. So, and that goes into great depth about how to use that skill within the environment of animals and plants and other creatures and ultra-dimensional creatures too.
So, check it out, find it.
Yeah.
If you don't know how, I'm sure there'll be a link
There'll be
in
a
our
link.
notes.
Yes.
Or
Got
go
to
to-
subscribe star and find us there.
or Substack.
Or Substack, yes.
Oh, Subscribestar would be better.
Well, the Subscribe Star does have the class in it, so
Yes.
that's where you want to go.
If you want the animal
Substack has nice
communication
articles.
class.
Yeah.
Subscribestar.
And become
A patron of
the light.
The light.
Yes.
Alrighty. So the reason I was talking about that, besides letting
It's
everyone
interesting.
here who's listening know that if they want to communicate with animals and plants and Sasquatch, that the class to do it is affordable and findable, and you can do it. Anybody can do it. And using that skill, just 2 days ago, You got communication, right? Go ahead and share that.
Oh, yeah. So a couple of days ago, no, actually it was more than a couple of days now. It's more like 4 or 5 days. Yeah, it's more like a week.
It's been a while.
No, not that much of a while.
It's been a very short while.
Yeah, in a short while ago. I was taking PB down the road. Where is she? Right behind me.
If you're watching the video, you see her in her normal spot,
Yes.
which I have a crystal ball picture of her doing that.
Yes. And we were walking down, and then I felt this really strong experiential telepathy message from the Sasquatch telling us to go down the hill within our property, kind of next to it. It's actually, they consider that part of the land also our property.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's because the owners pretty much told us to take care of it. So, to go down there. And I said, why? I said, there's something there. There's something there. And I thought, it's a present? No, it's not a present. And then we carried on walking. And I had an image of either a deer or an elk getting killed. Or dying, right? And I thought, oh, that's odd. Very strange message. But I didn't link the two. Because I wasn't in that mode of let's communicate. I was just, planning my day, walking the doggy woggy. Yeah. All the things that you do normally in the day. And so came home and I told Larry, hey, Larry, we need to go down that way. I think it might be the next day.
Yeah, you pointed over there the next day. You said, hey, Larry, the Sasquatch gave me a little message. We need to go over, take a peek down that way.
Yeah.
And I said, okay. And then didn't do it.
Right. And the day after that, I just grabbed you and we went down there. And as soon as we came out of our driveway and into the woods, there was a sign there.
A giant star.
Yeah, a giant, beautiful, perfectly angled star made out of sticks.
Yep.
And it would be really hard for nature to just
fall perfectly. It's not outside the realm of
possibility, right?
But it was quite nice to see. It's kind of it's sort of a, here's a sign. Mm-hmm. You can take it or leave it. But thank you for, coming on down.
And then there was another sign that pointed us down the...
Yeah, we went down the hill, to where it was flat. And there was another structure. There was a structure built. Looked like a great place for hanging out.
Hanging out, yeah.
Right. And right next to it was a trail.
Yes.
So
we followed the trail. We just felt that it was right. When you get the right, it kind of feels good. When you get it wrong, it kind of doesn't feel so good. That type of energy.
Yeah, that's what I was doing, yeah.
And then I had a meeting, so I had to come back up. And Larry carried on exploring, following the signs to the area that we had been told to go to.
Right. And that trail led me to a spot where there was the most impossible stick triangle ever. The sticks were 12 feet long.
Oh, yes, that's right.
They're sticking way over this way, way over this way, way over this way. And yes, long sticks can fall in the forest to make a triangle. Don't get me wrong.
They can.
I know that. Mm-hmm. But there is a way that they fall that can't be from falling, because any one of you lifts a different one. That's when they go over one, under one, over one, under one, over one, under one. They can't fall that way.
Right.
I guess maybe if all three fell simultaneously, straight up and down, and then weaved each other as they fell open to make a triangle. I mean, there's pretty much, you can't have all that happen at once. I don't think so. So it was a woven triangle, which is one of the things we found while we were expeditioning with Todd, was a woven triangle. We found multiples of those, which, I mean, if you think about it, finding multiple ones, more than one, the one we found with Todd was associated with a track.
Oh,
and
yes.
a message to go here. Yeah. And so it's like, if you walk through the forest, you're going to see triangles of wood all over the place, right?
Right. But some of them are...
But you're not going to find woven ones.
No.
Let me tell you.
That's
go ahead
true.
and start looking.
Yeah.
So I found this woven triangle. And the message with those triangles is there's a direction to go look. I don't remember what the training was on which direction. So the pointy end, I followed the pointy end to see where that goes.
Okay.
And that went over here. I found it just went to a elk. Elk had made a trail through the woods.
Yeah.
So there's a whole bunch of footprints and stuff. But I mean, that's nothing. So okay, maybe there's an elk trail here. But there's 100 elk trails here.
Yes.
So I went back to it and I checked the triangle and I followed the other end, the flat side, kind of the open end.
Side? Well, that's what Todd told you to do anyways. Follow the open end.
He probably did, but you know how...
He told you.
I don't
follow the open end.
I pay only a little bit of attention sometimes. And I might have forgot. Anyway, I followed the open end. And it led me into the bushes, into nowhere. It was tangled up mess of brush. No trails, no nothing. And then finally I got to a spot where it was blackberries. I'm like, well, that's a dead end, isn't it?
Yes.
And then I looked off to my right, and there was a cached deer.
Can you explain to the folk who don't live in the forest what a cached deer is?
If you're a predator in the woods and you can't eat the whole thing that you catch, then you bury it under a little bit of shrubs and leaves and things like that. So it's, you can't see it really. All you see is this little mound of leaves. Well, this mound of leaves had an ear sticking out.
Yes.
And then I could look at it and I say, oh, that's a deer. So there was a deer buried under a tree at the end of nowhere in the middle of our property. So that made sense to me. It's like, okay, that makes sense. That triangle's to go to here, go look here. Now, the message I got wasn't, I was like,
is this a present?
Is this a present? And I got no, this isn't a present. I mean, if you want some, go ahead.
Yeah.
But no, it's not a present. A present would be on your porch.
Right.
But it is on your property, land that you're responsible for, and so you should be aware. Right?
Yes, be aware.
Be aware that there's likely to be predators attracted to this kill.
Yes.
So we had a couple of options, and the option we picked was we're going to put a camera and see what predator might come to this kill.
Yes.
And it's so scary going up in the woods to check the camera because you got a giant kill in the middle of the forest with tall brush everywhere. And, you know, any kind of alligator, crocodile, dragon, we don't know what's eating that.
Well, there's no alligators or crocodiles here. Maybe
or
a dragon.
dragons.
I don't know about dragons. Maybe dragons, yes, but definitely bears and cougars, for
Bears
sure.
and cougars and
coyotes.
Coyotes and maybe lynxes or...
Lynxes?
Yeah, the bobcat kind of thing.
Oh, bobcats, yes.
There's probably other things that we maybe just don't know. Like some kind of little animals that eats.
Little ones are okay, but, you know.
Birds, carrion birds.
They're
buzzards.
okay. They're not going to come close to you.
Yeah, I wasn't too afraid of those. But the alligators, the dragons, and the whatever, tigers.
Yes.
So it's a little bit process your fear before you run up there and check the camera. Which we did today.
Yes.
And
I had to go with him. And the dog.
And the dog.
Yeah.
Not that I was afraid.
No, of course not, Daddy.
It's just prepared.
He wanted to make sure that I knew if he was eaten by a bear that he'd been eaten by a bear.
I didn't want there to be a mistaking. It's like, I wonder if maybe he went fishing.
Yeah, maybe.
That's probably what he did.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Or maybe he went to town to go watch a movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't want there to be no misunderstandings. Yep, bear got me.
Yeah.
But no bear got me. As a matter of fact, we grabbed our little camera thing, it has a little chip in it, put it in our pocket, and we couldn't wait to go see what the heck we caught. And
mostly were photos of us setting up the camera.
Yeah, there was 10 pictures of us in various poses of...
setting up the camera.
And then there was one pose of you...
grabbing the camera.
And a pose of you walking away from the camera.
Walking away from the camera, and you looking at the camera.
Pose of me looking at the camera. Yeah. There was 8 of them, and then we had 3 more to go.
And there was an animal that came.
There was an animal that came in the middle of the between us leaving the camera and picking it up.
That midday,
right in the middle of the day, one of these scary monsters that showed up to eat this carrion.
Yes,
it was Missy.
Missy, our dog.
Our dog.
That you found the cache with, so she knew where it was.
Yeah, she knew where it was, but I mean, it's a whole big deer.
Yes.
I didn't expect her to be running down there to sniff and eat it.
She did.
Oh,
we didn't get any photos of anything else. Just Missy.
Just Missy.
My goodness.
Yep.
Oh well.
We stalked the camera again.
We did.
We'll see if something
Missy
else shows
back.
up. Probably Missy.
And it was so funny because we drove there because our land is pretty big.
Yeah.
And it's near the road, not the entry road, but the other road, the main road. So we drove there and then climbed up the mountain or the hill to get to the cached deer. Mm-hmm. And when we got there,
it was a bit spooky.
Missy.
Well, it was a bit spooky because there was
we heard some noises.
Something moving in the brush.
Yeah. And it was Missy.
I was like, what the heck? How'd she get here?
I know. And then she hid from us.
She did because she knew. She knew that she'd
done bad.
She'd been snooping into the cache. Yeah. She thought it was our deer, I think.
She
totally
I had some
bites.
From us. She did hide from us. It was so funny.
Okay. Well, there might be more news later. And if there is, of course, we'll catch you up. But so far, something buried it. And Missy chased it off and ate it herself.
Yeah.
And the Sasquatch led us there.
Yeah, they told us to be aware.
You didn't tell me anything about dead deers or elks or anything.
No, actually, I didn't.
All you told me
you
was that there was.
Yes, I totally forgot to tell him about. Go down here because I didn't put the two and two together until what you told me you found.
Right.
And then when you said, "Do you think it's that?" and I thought, "Oh my gosh!" They totally showed me a deer getting killed. So yeah, that's it. And I tested out is it a present? And I got a big no. And is it, the why or whatever's? And I got be aware, look, be aware that this is in your land. You're responsible for the land and your animals in it. So be cautious and aware that this is here and it can attract bears and cougars and coyote and whatnot.
Yeah. And I'm here to tell you, I don't know if you've ever seen a deer that's covered up with brush.
It's impossible to see.
And leaves and needles and things.
You took me right to it. And you pointed where it was, and I could not see it.
I know. I showed people pictures of it.
And they can't see it in the picture.
And they said, all I see is Missy. There's nothing there.
Yeah.
And you were standing right there, and you can't see it.
I couldn't see it.
So the chances of me stumbling upon it are zero.
No,
especially in our
it's not possible.
3,000 or 4,000 feet that way and 3,000 or 4,000 feet that way. 10, 15 acres, practically 20 acres worth of spot. Yes. And it's all heavy forest.
It is heavy forest.
And it's steep hills.
Yeah.
So.
And it was under a bush.
Under a tree.
Tree, yeah.
Covered in brush. Yeah. And trees, covered in needles.
Like 3 or 4 trees under it, hidden under there, under all the branches and leaves.
So without a sign pointing you, you're not getting to find that.
And that's exactly what we got, sign pointing.
Yeah. So I thought that was a remarkable thing. Mm-hmm. So if you want those skills, use that class.
Yep.
Put it into practice.
Yep.
I'm not promising you'll find a cached deer in your forest. But
and support Ted's work.
Todd,
sorry. Todd's work. Support Todd's work, right? Yeah. So go and get it. And we'll link the class on his site, so that goes to not his site, but the one that the package that we put together to support his work, so that you can go and get the class there.
Yep. Okay, so on to our normal scheduled program.
We better be quick though, because we've only got 10 minutes for that one.
But it's important, honey.
It's important.
It's called Riding the Waves of Transformation.
Mm-hmm. Indeed. That's what it's called.
It's spring in the Northern Hemisphere.
Yes.
And if you happen to live in the Southern Hemisphere, it's clearly autumn.
Yes. So rather than read this article, which is rather long, and we've already spent most of our time talking about the communication with the Sasquatch, I want to really give a summary about what this time of
transformation,
the time of year type of thing, if you look at it from a linear perspective.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the same energy that might manifest in different ways. It's a time of transformation, and that basically, spring and autumn, we kind of culturally have been shown a little bit of it, but very, very kind of polarized on each of those transformational energies, which is very divisive in my opinion, and also not complete. To me, spring and autumn are magical times of transformation, and you see it in nature and everything, but it's also if you pick up the complete package for the entire planet and use that energy yourself, you can do amazing things. But some of the things that we have been kind of led to believe is that everything begins and whatever is in spring, and you do spring cleaning and stuff like that, and everything dies down and slows down and goes to sleep in winter or autumn. And then, it's like one or the other kind of thing. But I found that when I looked at those energies, I found that they actually merge together. They're one energy that's been divided to keep us divided and disempowered. And in the article, I show a few things that you can do to tap into that transformational energy, right? The wave that's going around the planet right now. And use it in a very, very positive way, right? Because it's not just about cleaning. Right?
Thank you.
It's not just about pausing or going into
putting everything away,
getting your harvest and put it away, whatever, right? Mm-hmm. It's very, very combined, and the main part of it, in my opinion, is I put 3 points, and the first one is by claiming the time of transformations for ourselves, so that other people don't use that energy for themselves, our energy of transformation for themselves, right? And we're talking about the people who know how all these things work and want to manipulate our frequencies and energies on the planet. So, claim this energy of transformation and a purpose, the purpose that you want to use this energy for. And Larry had this marvelous idea that we could use the energy that we talked about before, in several times before, actually, our prime purpose. So the energy that we would use is either if you are part of a group, when you're talking as a group, and when you're by yourself, or we're talking as yourself. You should do both. So here it says, my prime purpose to be here on Earth right now is to embody and express my true frequency and allow the environment to reflect it back to me in the form of experiences of that same frequency. So really state that intent and that focus when we're using these transformational energies that are on the planet. Okay?
Yep. Claim it.
Claim it. Yay. Okay, second step is cleansings. Clean your home, your workspace, your car, your computer, your relationships, and your body. This part is about releasing. And here's the key. This part is done in spring and autumn.
Both, huh?
Both. Very, very important to do this part.
Okay.
In both.
Okay.
And the third part is restock, renew, revitalize, reconnect, and reestablish. And normally those would be the energies that were given for fall or autumn, right? It's like you harvest, you restock your pantry, you renew your things or whatever, right? Revitalize your energies. But it's like the part of reconnect and reestablish, that's very, very important. It's kind of been forgotten. And this is really important both for spring and autumn. So after you do all the cleansing and clear your energies and release what you don't need anymore, then you restock, renew, revitalize, reconnect, and reestablish.
Okay.
Okay. All right. And then we go a little bit on about, all the little details about what can be 1 or 2 and what it means and examples. But do you have any thoughts around that, Hannah?
Well, I'm like a little uncomfortable.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Because you don't like to release things?
Because we changed things.
Oh, no. We changed things again.
Yeah, on our podcast. We were supposed to read our newsletter and comment on it as we go.
Yes.
And now we've just done it all which ways and overs,
Yeah, we did.
So I suggest anyone who is listening, go read the newsletter.
Yes, go read it.
You go get it by going to Substack and type in Inelia Benz on Substack, and you can read this, Riding the Waves of Transformation. Because I do agree, it is a rather long one. And it was fun to talk about the Sasquatch.
It was.
But,
yes,
I really like talking about our newsletter too.
That's good.
So next time I'll talk about Sasquatch much faster.
Okay.
Well, I'm sure Ilya and Adelina in our second hour, they can bring up relevant points from the newsletter. So
I'm thinking they're going to want to talk about the Sasquatch. We'll have to see, won't we?
we'll see. Oh, well, we'll
The
see.
Sasquatch are so much fun, though. Come on.
And the telepathy course
Yes.
and the animal communication.
Yes.
I agree. It's much more interesting than cleaning.
And restocking and revitalizing.
Yeah, but it is interesting, that bit that you just took. Because usually we'll do one, but not the other.
Exactly,
And that's
that's
kind of
my
how we've been
point.
trained. Do one,
point.
but not the other. Do the other, but not the one. So in each transformational period of time, we're only doing half the job.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah. So claim it and do it. And,
And the third part, which I haven't seen really, is when you pointed out having the intent. Putting the intent to how you want to use this energy first. When we do cleansing, it's like mostly the intent is...
Not dirty.
Yes, not dirty.
Yeah. But,
right?
Yeah. But
And when we
this-
restock and revitalize, our intent is to have more...
Not starving.
Not starving, yeah. But we don't infuse it, we don't infuse it with that
Infuse it
power
with your
energy.
prime purpose. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's talk about it some more with Ilya and Adelina.
Okay.
We'll get into detail about the newsletter and the bits in that. I'll make sure they don't spend too much time on Sasquatch.
Okay, good luck with that.
Okay. See ya in a sec.